Supergirl and Robin do not go on a road trip in Batman Superman World's Finest number 44. Not really, anyway, despite what the cover tells you. I do, however, love the look of that four-wheeler, despite the fact that it doesn't actually appear in the issue. So you know what, just this once, I'll allow the misleading cover. So in this issue, Supergirl teams up with Dick Grayson, Robin, to infiltrate an evil company that's a subsidiary of LexCorp, basically, and hijinks ensue. I really dig the art in this issue by Lucas Meyer, as well as the writing by Mark Waid and Mark Russell. Kind of feels like a standalone episode of a show like Justice League Action. It's really quirky. I also appreciate Dick Grayson's Robin-colored wardrobe here, which naturally flies in the face of the whole secret identity thing in like a cheeky sort of way. I've kind of phased in and out of this World's Finest book since its inception, but you know what, if I catch wind of an issue like this that kind of stands on its own, I'll always at least take a look. The continuity buff in me, though, is still kind of struggling with the notion that Dick Grayson and Kara Zor-El are supposed to be around the same age in this universe. It just doesn't compute to me that this girl and this grown-ass man are somehow the same age. We get one of my favorite fight sequences in all of 2025 in They Choose Violence number 5. So to reiterate, this book is about a vigilante triad consisting of 3 black women who go after bigots and racists in the world, particularly in the justice system. And in this issue, they have the bad guy right where they want him, or at least they think they do, and things get bloody, violent, and ugly. So yeah, I've been itching for a knockdown, drag-out, bloody nose, busted knuckles fight sequence all year. I didn't necessarily expect I was going to get it from They Choose Violence, but in hindsight, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. But heck of a fight sequence here that feels very real and very emotional and visceral almost, like very fitting of the book we've gotten thus far. I also like the little circular accents we get in the various panels that highlight where a shot connects. That's a really nice touch. And you know, the great fight actually kind of makes up for the fact that I think the story was a little lacking here at the end. I was hoping for an ending that was, I guess, more poignant and or haunting to fit the subject matter here. But you know, in all fairness, our author here, Sheldon Allen, did say in an afterword in the first issue that this story will not end the way you think, and he was right. I mean, I didn't picture it ending this way, so he caught me by surprise. But yeah, this 5th issue is the last in the book. It didn't quite stick the landing the way I wanted it to, but still, it wraps up a really powerful, emotional, guttural story that really had its finger on a raw nerve, and I admire it for that. I would be surprised if you did not see They Choose Violence listed among my favorite comics of 2025 come December. And you know what? Hey, if they want to come back to the well again on this one, I'm game. Am I selfish for wanting a little more out of my Power Rangers comic books? I mean, should I just be grateful for what I've got at this point? Talk to me about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Halloween special, and see what you think. So this issue has 4 short Halloween stories in it. It's led off by a story where Kimberly switches bodies with a putty patroller. As a whole, this collection is fine. You know, it's okay. I can't bring myself to get too worked up about it, positively or negatively. For my money, it's highlighted by the Kimberly Putty Patroller story that Cinna Grace writes and draws. It gives us this image, which is kind of cool. It highlights the gruesome nature of the Putty Patroller face. It also sees somebody get attacked with a pair of scissors, which is most definitely not something you could have done on kids' TV in the 90s. Or today, I would think. The pumpkin wrapper is fittingly in this book. He's a fan favorite monster from season 1, as is the Terror Toad. My first episode of Power Rangers ever was the Terror Toad episode, so I'm always happy to see him. But I don't know, to me it's kind of the classic Power Rangers fanboy conflict of there being too much Mighty Morphin content as opposed to content that's kind of spread out throughout the seasons. Like, I know Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is the big iconic season, the one that really made the fingerprint on the cultural zeitgeist. Okay, but Playmates Toys understands that. But perhaps selfishly, I kind of wish that they had led with a Mighty Morphin story here, and then let the other 3 stories, venture off into different seasons. Like, for instance, what would an SPD Halloween story look like? Is that selfish? I don't know. I mean, would the issue sell as well as a Mighty Morphin Halloween special will? I don't know. The upside, though, is that I do like these sort of periodic Power Rangers one-shots that Boom Studios has been doing in recent months. We had the Rita's Rewind one, and now we've got this one, and then we're going to have a Zord-centric one several weeks from now, I believe. It's a nice back-to-basics approach for people who aren't invested in Power Rangers Prime, and who knows, maybe as time goes on, those one-shots will venture outside the Mighty Morphin era. Is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 12 the finale to one of the best TMNT runs ever? Nope. Yeah, on their Instagram page, IDW Publishing quoted a writer from a big website as saying that this issue wraps up one of the best TMNT runs ever. And don't get me wrong, there are things about the past 12 issues of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I really enjoyed and in some cases loved, but one of the best runs of all time, lean back, player. But yeah, this issue is the big finale to our author Jason Aaron's 12-issue run with the Turtles. The evil district attorney Hieronymus Hale has turned into a giant mutant, and the Turtles have to save the day. Juan Ferreira is our artist one last time on this issue, and in talking about the one thing that I've really loved about this recent TMNT run, Ferreira has really been able to establish himself as one of the great TMNT artists, certainly in recent memory. I love his style, I love his approach, and he delivers more of that here. For instance, my favorite panel in the issue is a shot where the big hail monster reacts to a couple of cops that are shooting at him. Just burp. I also love these panels and Donatello's really sympathetic reaction to Hale, desperately crying out for help. That's great visual language there. From a writing standpoint, the Hieronymus Hale character is really Jason Aaron's best and biggest contribution to the TMNT mythos overall. I hope we get to see more of him down the line. But yeah, while there were things about this TMNT run that I really liked and even loved in certain cases, as far as the overall package is concerned, writing and art, everything that comes with it, I would not call this one of the best TMNT runs ever, especially in the early going. Things were rocky in those first few issues. See, this is why I don't pay attention to a ton of other comic book content creators, reviewers, etc. I mean, there are some whose opinions I respect, but some of them are so out of pocket and fluffy and clickbaity that I can't stomach it. To their credit, IDW has really been hyping up and pushing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 13, the next issue, and sort of the next era on this title, as Gene Luen Yang jumps on as author and Freddie Williams jumps on as artist. I'm interested to see what comes next, and that's never a bad thing. Wonder Woman loses her temper, loses her composure a little bit in Absolute Wonder Woman number 13. So in this issue, a lightning villain, a lightning entity of some kind, keeps showing up in various places around the world, threatening things, and Wonder Woman can't quite get a handle on it, and as such, she loses her temper late in the issue. I liked that moment a lot, and the more I think about it, the more it might actually be one of my favorite moments in this entire Absolute Wonder Woman series thus far. Wonder Woman and heroes like Wonder Woman who've been around forever and are so iconic can sometimes be too iconic for their own good, I think, and sometimes there's like a disconnect there where we put them up on this pedestal and I don't know, we don't see them as like humans or regular people anymore. But when you lose your temper like Wonder Woman does in this issue, you expose your humanity and your vulnerability a little bit, and that's not necessarily something we always get to see from Wonder Woman, so I really appreciated it. Matias Vergara, I think I'm pronouncing that right, is our guest artist for this issue. Sort of gives the proceedings a sketchy look, which isn't something that we've seen on Absolute Wonder Woman, at least to this extent, so it makes for a unique reading experience. I really appreciated that he was able to present these like Egyptian hieroglyphic type images to us in the issue. Definitely interesting. Our regular artist Hayden Sherman, though, is still our cover artist for this issue, and I'll tell you what, don't sleep on Hayden Sherman's cover game. Especially for this issue. I love the contrast with the brightness of the lightning hands here. Youth and age are so often a matter of perspective. That's a concept that, oddly enough, has really been driven home for me by Sisterhood, a Hyde Street story, issue 4 of which just came out. So at this point in the story, we now know that Violet, the spectral best friend of Sophie, can take control of Sophie's body and cause her to do horrible things, and in this issue, Sophie is in some pretty big trouble. So last month, when I read issue 3 of Sisterhood, my initial inclination was to be critical of the way our artist Layla Lays was drawing Sophie, in the opening scene in particular. I thought at the time that Sophie looked really little girlish in that scene. Like she's supposed to be a college-aged girl, but at the time I thought that in that scene she just looked too young, too little. And it's funny what kind of changes your perspective on things. As over the last month we've hired a babysitter here at Comic Book Chronicles headquarters to stay with my young daughters. And this babysitter is a college-aged girl that I think is around the same age that Sophie is supposed to be. And when I first saw this girl in person, I was like, how is it that this little kid can babysit my 2 little kids? Like, she just looked so young to me. And that's when I kind of realized, remembering the art from that Sisterhood issue, that it's not that Layla Lays was or is drawing Sophie too young, it's that my eyes are too old, and that my perspective on this particular issue is kind of skewed. So in hindsight, I'm glad that I didn't bring that up at the time, and I'm just now talking about it in hindsight. As far as this issue is concerned, really strong opening page. The I Still Love You caption from Violet contrasts nicely with the prison setting, of course. I like that the panel gutters on this page are prison bars. I think that's a cool trick, a cool effect. There was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue that recently did that too. It's fun. There's a big twist at the end of this issue. Something happens with Sophie and Violet that I didn't see coming, and it sets the stage for a big confrontation next issue, the final issue. So I'm hoping they really stick the landing here and finish strong.